10-0 in the first quarter. But then in the second quarter, Stout to Smith for 19 yards. It was 10-7. Then Doug Williams hit Alfonso Williams for Oklahoma. It was 17-7 Oklahoma, still in the second quarter. But Stout came back, this time to Joey Jones, and that made it 17-14 at halftime as Birmingham was on its way to 34 consecutive points. They got 2 more touchdowns in the third quarter. Then on the pitchback play, Stout hit Smith from 41 yards out. Stout went on to 5 touchdown passes in the ball game, tying Bobby Hebert's league record. Cribbs was held to only 87 yards, if you can call that holding him down. But Stout, of course, as I mentioned, threw the 5 touchdown passes. So here are how the standings look in each division coming into this weekend's play. In the Atlantic Division, Philadelphia on top of New Jersey by a game. Both teams play today. Southern Division, Birmingham on top of New Orleans. New Orleans can stay within 1 game if they can beat Denver at home today. Central Division, Michigan on top of Houston and Oklahoma by a half game. The Panthers can reassume the lead in that division if they win tomorrow night. Pacific Division, Denver has a chance today, if it can beat New Orleans, to stretch its lead over Arizona to 4 games in that division. Following up now on some news we gave you last week in the USFL, we told you that Craig James of the Washington Federals, after having been released from the Federals, was expected to sign with the New England Patriots, and this week, of course, as you've probably already read, he did. Speculation is that the contract is for $1 million. We know that it is stretched over a 3-year period. In New England, James will join Ron Meyer, the man who coached him in college at SMU. And here's how he described his rationale for going to New England.
When I made my decision last year in the USFL, it was a business decision, and I'm very happy I did that. I think the USFL is very good. I think they've got a good thing going. They work hard. They know where they want to go, and they've got the people to back it. But the NFL, our generation, I think, is the NFL. You dream of it as a kid, and not many people get to do it.
Good luck to James, who missed 10 of his 26 games with the Federals because of injuries. We told you last week that Marcus Merrick, the New Orleans linebacker, was negotiating with the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFL. He had said a decision could be expected this week. No such decision was forthcoming, and now Randy Vataha, an executive with the New Orleans Breakers, has told our people in New Orleans that he expects he should be able to re-sign Merrick sometime shortly to a Breakers contract. So that's what has happened this weekend up to now in the United States Football League. I'll be here to keep you up to date on everything outside of your game today, and you'll be seeing football right after this.
This game is a matchup of 2 Heisman Trophy winners. In 1982, Herschel Walker became only the 7th college junior to win it. In 1983, Mike Rozier became the 2nd Heisman Trophy winner in as many years to sign a contract with a new league. Herschel Walker has struggled this season, plagued by injury. Herschel has rushed for 100 yards only 3 times in the last 17 games. Mike Rozier struggled early, but he's coming off his first 100-yard game. ABC Sports presents the midway point in the 2nd season of the United States Football League. Live from Three River Stadium, it's the 6-2 New Jersey Generals against the Pittsburgh Maulers. It's the USFL. New Jersey comes into this game with a 6-2 record. Coming off a loss last week, it was their worst offensive output since early last year, their inaugural year. But they are 6-2. Their only losses were to Houston, and last week a 20-3 loss to George Allen's Arizona Wranglers. But they've beaten some fine football teams, as you can see. Birmingham, Jacksonville, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles, an upstart team. They've also beaten Washington and Memphis. Now, on the other side of the field today, we've got the Pittsburgh Maulers. We told you that they are 2-6, and they seemingly now are coming together. Their last 2 games have been very impressive. We saw them in New Orleans. They lost 27-24 in the last 12 seconds there to a very fine football team. And last week they held a 21-0 halftime lead over Denver, another fine football team. They lost that one 31-21. The head coaches today, Walt Michaels, longtime coach of the New York Jets, under a little bit of pressure after last week's loss. He faces that old nemesis written up as potential. His club was picked to win the title, and those preseason predictions are always tough to live up to. Now, Joe Pendry of Pittsburgh is the youngest head coach in professional football, 36 years old. Last year, he was the offensive assistant with the Philadelphia Stars, who called the plays that took Philly to the title game. A highly respected coach with a very brilliant football mind. They like to throw the football, high, short percentage passes, and CARANO does it well with Anderson and Flowers as 2 wideouts. New Jersey likes to control the football on the ground with Carthon and Herschel Walker, but they too will throw the high percentage short passes. And Brian Sipe, I think, is the best at that. This is Roger Ruzak. He'll be kicking off. He's out of Weber State. The deep man for Pittsburgh is Mark Harper, number 26. It'll be Harper, the deep man. He'll take it right at the goal line. To the 10, looks for a wall, finds the funnel, breaks across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Goes Harper. So the Pittsburgh Maulers will have it there. First down. We'll start the game offensively, and the players that will be on the field. Glenn CARANO, your quarterback. Mike Rozier and Walter Holman. Greg Anderson and Jackie Flowers are your wide receivers. The offensive line is Mark Rowell, 6'3", 215. Donnie Hickman, 6'3", 275. Joe Lukens, 255. Chuck Corial, 260. Don Corbin, 254. And Don Maggs, 265. It is a young offensive line. It is big, and it is very quick. From the 22-yard line, Flowers and Anderson to the wideout. This is Holman. Finds a hole across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Gary Barbaro and Terry Daniels take him down. The defensive talent for the Generals, James Lockett, Tom Woodland, and Lynn Matson are your down linemen. The linebackers, Willie Harper, Jim LeClaire, Bob Horn, and Bob Leopold, the NFL veterans. Very impressive group there at line.
They run a 4-3 defense, 4 down linemen, Sam Clancy, Graham, Thomas, and Holly up on front. Linebackers, Crosby, Adams, and McKibben. They're not the fastest guys, but they do play excellent team defense with Sutton, Holmes, Jerry Holmes from the New York Jets, great cornerback, Delaney, and Friday. And they tell me that Friday is a great hitter, so he should be active in this ballgame.
On the 41-yard line, Collins in motion. This is 2nd and 3. The give is to Walker. And Walker has a first down, the first first down of the afternoon. Ernest Adams and Sam Clancy make the tackle for Pittsburgh.
Herschel has been injured, playing hurt throughout most of the season. He has a problem with his shoulders. Now, early in the season, they said the shoulders were just bruised, deep shoulder bruises. Later on, we found out that he has had a long battle with a dislocated shoulder that just pops out on him from time to time. He's got a pair of the Donza shoulder pads that are light and they offer a great deal of protection, but he said today he feels better than he has all year.
Injured his shoulder against the LA Express when Aaron Mitchell hit him. From the 46, first down. Carthon left side, flags fly, cuts inside to the 47-yard line. Jerry Holmes, Troy Thomas take him down. Fumble, they scramble for the football, but there is a flag on the play. Herschel Walker recovered the fumble.
Maurice Carthon, since Herschel has been injured out of a couple of ball games, has really taken on the lion's share of this running attack and is having to find his finest start in professional football. See offsides against the Pittsburgh Maulers. He's a quick, strong back. He gets up in there. He doesn't try and give you a lot of moves, just powers his way through. And he's a man that Herschel Walker can get behind and have a lot of confidence that he's going to make the block and also get the tough yards for them.
Swanee, Carthon also seems to have taken a lot of the pressure off Herschel Walker. Carthon has 414 yards thus far. Herschel has 468. Add to that Brian Sipe, and it's a very balanced attack.
Well, he's taking a lot of pressure on those short power runs where Herschel doesn't have to get those shoulders banged on quite as much.
1st and 5. The motion man is Walker. The give is to Carthon. David Graham takes him down after a gain of a couple, but it looks like he got the first down.
In getting ready for this ball game, I talked with the defensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Maulers. One of the things they want to do, which they haven't done successfully on this drive with the New Jersey Generals, is keep them out of 2nd and short situations. Now, when you talk about first down, the New Jersey Generals on 42% of their offensive plays on first down have gained 5 yards or more, which puts them in great position on 2nd down. They don't have to go as far. They've converted on a lot of short 3rd down plays and 2nd down plays.
43% conversion ratio on 3rd down. That improves just a little bit now as Herschel Walker bangs in for the first down on 2nd and short. So New Jersey now in Pittsburgh territory. Excellent field position. Pretty good drive.
And so far in the 2 first downs they've picked up, Tim, they have not reached 3rd down yet. Now, if they can consistently move the ball down the football field, eating up the clock, taking up time, their defense is well rested. They don't have to come on the field and be taxed, physically taxed. and it puts the pressure all on the Pittsburgh offense. They can isolate that offense, force the ball in the air, and just play pass defense.
1st and 10 from the 40. You know, I think Herschel comes under a lot of pressure because of the style of runner that he is. He seems to tiptoe, but he is tough to tackle. He's a bull. This is Carthon. Looks for the draw, then goes to the right side off tackle. Very cold day at Three Rivers Stadium. 39 degrees. The rain is falling. If the temperature falls anymore, we could have some snow.
Well, it's Easter Sunday, and a lot of people may have decided to stay home to watch this football game.
They sold 25,000 seats for this game, 25,000 tickets, but the rain has cut into that. We'll be lucky if we get 15 to 17,000. Not much of a crowd. This is 2nd and 7 from the 37. Sipe to throw. Intended for McConaughey. It is knocked loose by Jerry Holmes, the defensive back on the right side, number 47.
Well, I'll tell you, Tom McConaughey is a clutch receiver, a big third down receiver, but he's going against Jerry Holmes, the veteran from the New York Jets, and Holmes is a tough man to beat. He gets him right here, has room, but he just can't hang on to the football. He's not wearing gloves, and the ball could be a little bit slick out there. It's a pass that Tom McConaughey, in most occasions, will catch and should have caught that one.
Hit him right in the numbers between the 8 and the 6. Perfect pass by Brian Sipe. Nickel defense now. Bill Yancey comes in for Pittsburgh. It is 3rd and 7 from the 37. New Jersey shows everybody split except for Herschel, the lone setback. Sipe under pressure, throws across the middle. This is Herschel Walker. Herschel cuts inside to the 30. And he's got another first down for New Jersey.
Sipe got a little bit of pressure just at the last minute coming from the outside. He was looking downfield, had to pick up a good 8 yards to get the first down. But again, the secondary, one of the strongest part of this defensive team in Pittsburgh, played very well. So he had to go back to Herschel, who was just standing at the center of the field in case he needed someone to go through. Herschel picked up the pass and the first down on the play.
Herschel Walker, out of the University of Georgia in his 2nd season, has already rushed for nearly 2,300 yards in the USFL. 1st and 10 from the 30 for Brian Sipe. McConaughey and Collins split wide. This is Herschel Walker. He bangs up the middle for a few. They'll give him 4 yards on that pickup. Came only the 6th player in pro football to go over the 2,000-yard mark in a season for combined yardage, passing, receiving, and running.
Walt Michaels, he's a man that loves to run the football, plays conservative defense. He will not do very much that's fancy or too complicated. He believes in the simplicity of football.
Walker now splits wide to the right. Collins and McConaughey to the top of the screen. Twin receivers. It's a draw to Carthon. Carthon rambles down to the 23-yard line before the linebacker there, Ernest Adams, can tackle it. Just underway in the first quarter. We've got 7 minutes and 59 seconds left. New Jersey's offensive line, we mentioned how big they are. 6'4", 275-pound average, very young.
Take a look at their height and weight there. This is an offensive line, Tim, that has gotten better as the game progresses. In the fourth quarter, they've worn out most of the teams. John Jewell is actually starting in place of Wayne Harris, who has a bit of an injured hip.
This is 3rd and 3 from the 23-yard line. Sipe, long count. He's going to throw under pressure across the middle, and it is complete. That's Clarence Collins, number 82. Larry Friday, the defensive back there. Good pressure by Mickey Sutton, who came on the blitz.
Well, Clarence Collins has done a great job for him. It's his first year. Danny Knight is also a receiver that we might see some of during the ball game, but is also a rookie. But Collins has come on to be a clutch receiver for him. He gets in the middle. He takes the hit. You see number 27, Larry Friday, picks up a leg and tries to make a wish out of Collins, but Collins hangs on to the football.
Clarence Collins with 4.4 speed in the 40. It is 1st and 10 from the 16. Nice sustained drive by the Generals. Danny Knight into the ball game now. Sipe under pressure and sacked. The sack is by Sam Clancy out of the University of Pittsburgh. Clancy, 6'7", 260-pounder. Played forward on the basketball team at Pitt. His 6th sack of the year.
Sam Clancy was drafted as a basketball player. Tried it for a while, didn't quite make it. Came back, and they decided to try him out of football because of his great athletic ability. He is a favorite here in Pittsburgh.
He was drafted by the Phoenix Suns. It was Jackie Sherrill who tipped off Seattle that he could play. And he's done an outstanding job. Second and long. From the 27, Sipe has to pick up 21 yards for the first. And again he goes down. This time it's Mike McKibben, the linebacker. And listen to the sparse crowd here at Three River Stadium. Maybe a small crowd, Swanee, but they're vociferous.
Pittsburgh crowds have been known for having strong vocal cords here.
This program is being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Now let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
WTAE-TV, Channel 4, Pittsburgh.
Sam Bowers comes into the ball game. Jeff Speck, the tight end, goes out. McConaughey and Collins, the two receivers at the bottom of the screen. 3rd and 31. Sipe going deep. Incomplete. Intended for Herschel Walker. Good coverage by Mickey Sutton.
They're trying to match up Herschel Walker, who is a world-class sprinter, against Mickey Sutton, just sending him straight down the field. It looked like they had man-to-man coverage. Brian Sipe gets some time. But you see right here, Mickey Sutton is with him stride for stride. The ball is thrown just a little bit behind Herschel Walker. He has no chance to make a play on it.
Pittsburgh calls it a rubber band defense. It'll stretch, but it won't break. That time they stop the Generals. Bob Brupp is in the putt. Mark Harper, number 26, is deep for Pittsburgh. High, short punt. They're trying to get it inside the 10. It bounces at the 9, and it'll be down at the 9. And now, Tempers player on the field. No love lost between these two clubs. A lot of frustration is built up here in Pittsburgh, as it has in New Jersey after the loss last week. There is a flag on the play. Amos Lawrence and Jeff Speck were going at it. And we'll wait to see what the penalty is. Personal foul against New Jersey, personal foul against Pittsburgh, offsetting penalties. So things have heated up in a very cold Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. We've got 5:22 remaining in the first quarter. There's no score. The rain has intensified, but so has the crowd, and so have the Maulers of Pittsburgh. 2 sacks in that last offensive series by the New Jersey Generals. Brian Sipe went down 2 times. He was sacked 4 times last week. He now has 10 sacks for the year. So Swanee, we talked about that offensive line. It is relatively inexperienced.
It is inexperienced. They don't have a great deal of experience behind them, but they are young and strong. What's interesting to notice, the Pittsburgh Steelers always had a great defense, and the fans have been accustomed to seeing that. They've been treated so far in this first drive by defense that rallied when they were under pressure.
Glenn Carano starting deep in his own territory, backed up against his goal line from the 9. This is Mike Rozier, and Rozier takes on a linebacker, bangs his way across the 15 to the 19-yard line. Gary Barbaro finally pulls him down.
Quick word about Rozier. We noted that last week was his first 100-yard game rushing. We have to keep in mind that he is coming off a complete football season at the University of Nebraska when he came into the USFL. So he's had to put together 2 seasons. His body is probably just now getting accustomed to this offensive team, playing another season, understanding the system he's working with.
29 touchdowns last fall, 11 100-yard days. He had a first down, so this is 1st and 10 from the 21. They pick up a couple, does Pittsburgh. Right now, let's go down to Mike Adamle. He's with Sam Clancy.
Well, Timmy, the Generals came up with a typical Brian Sipe methodical drive, but this big man snuffed it out with 1 big sack. I guess that's the key to today's ball game. Put pressure on the veteran.
Definitely. I think the big key is that we stop the first down run. I think that's the big fear they have, that we can go on and take care of Sipe. We want them in the passing situation where we got them in the last couple of downs.
Not bad for a player whose first love is basketball.
Hey, that's true, but right now my first love is football.
Okay, let's go back upstairs.
2nd and 7 from the 24. This is Holman, who goes around the right side and gets another first down for Pittsburgh. Well, the Pittsburgh offense has come to life.
Well, the Pittsburgh Maulers have now decided that what they're going to do is also run the football. Joe Pinder is a man that would prefer to put the ball in the air, but now he's giving it to his running back, number 32, Holman. He gets a good block there on the outside by his wide receiver and his offensive tackle, and picks his way upfield. If they can establish a solid running game, they're going to be very tough to handle this afternoon.
Pittsburgh has a multi-level offense. They will go split. They'll show I. They will also go pro set and occasionally shotgun. The fake to Rozier. The give to Flowers. Here he comes around the left side. Has another first down across midfield into New Jersey territory. Jackie Flowers. Flowers was picked up March 20th in a trade with Chicago.
Flowers out of Florida State was a starter for the Arizona Wranglers all of 1983. And then the complicated trade went to Chicago and now finds himself in Pittsburgh. He is a tough receiver. He doesn't have the greatest speed in the world, but he's a smart receiver. You see him downfield picking him a block from number 80, Greg Anderson. He picked up another 4 yards as a result. He is a good, solid ball player. He'll help this team a great deal.
That's the first carry of the year for Jackie Flowers. Rozier has trouble this time. He's surrounded by Leopold, the linebacker. LeClaire comes up to help, as does Gary Barbaro and Gregory Johnson.
Mike Rozier, a Heisman Trophy winner, averaging 3.6 a carry. You know, it's pretty tough when you come from a school like Nebraska and you had players like Dean Steinkuhl in front of you, where the coach says, follow your fullback, follow your guard. They're going to open big holes for you. Nebraska, it wasn't a matter of where the hole was, it was just how big it is. Here he's got a younger offensive line. He's got to give them time to grow.
He's averaged 4.5 yards a carry in the last 3 games, 137 yards last week. William Miller has nowhere to go. He's taken down very quickly by Jim Byrne, number 74. He's out of Wisconsin lacrosse.
It'll be a 3rd and long situation. And again, the New Jersey defense plays very conservatively. You're going to see them drop back in zone coverage. They'll try and let you make the mistakes and then take advantage of it.
It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 47. Len Carano is 0 for 1. He puts Anderson and Flowers to the bottom of the screen. Johnny Dearden to the top. Carano to throw for Flowers. Intercepted by Gregory Johnson, 27. He takes it back to the 43-yard line. They'll mark it at the 44. And that's where the Generals will get it back. So the first turnover, but there is another flag. And it's against New Jersey.
Oh, that wipes out a big play for the New Jersey Generals. They came into this game with 10 takeaways. Of course, Pittsburgh, with its fumbles and interceptions and their takeaways, come in with 0 marks. You know, same number of takeaways, giveaways.
Holding, number 55 defense. First down.
That's Jim LeClaire, the middle linebacker, came in from Cincinnati. So that one holding play wipes out a big turnover for the New Jersey Generals. And again, they played a very conservative defense, and Carano threw right into the heart, or to the strength of that defense, and Johnson picked it off.
A penalty on Jim LeClaire, longtime NFL veteran, should know better than that. It's 3rd and 8 from the 45. New life for Pittsburgh. Rozier, right side for 3.5.
Those are the kind of breaks that Pittsburgh really needs to get themselves going, in addition to playing good football. Playing good football is the best way to get their confidence up and to feel good about what they're doing. But a few breaks like that, when it looked like it was a bad play, really helps the young ball club tremendously.
The I formation now as Amos Lawrence comes into the ball game. Mike Rozier, the quarterback is Carano. As you look at him, the 2 wideouts, Flowers and Anderson. The give is the famous Amos Lawrence, who rambles down inside the 30-yard line. Famous Amos Lawrence out of the University of North Carolina. Played with the San Francisco 49ers. Became only the 2nd player in the NCAA history to run for at least 1,000 yards in all 4 years.
And
Tony Dorsett was the first.
Yes, he was, out of the University of Pittsburgh, and that is quite an accomplishment. I think one of the true marks of any ball player to show how good he is consistency. If you can put together consistent efforts in your career, then you've really done something. Anybody can do it one day, and Amos has that kind of talent.
This is Rozier, and Rozier has not much there. You know, Famous Amos was hurt, had some injuries coming into the season, and took a little while to come around. He had arthroscopic surgery in October, missed the first 4 games. But he had 24 games in college, which he ran for 100 yards or more. And in those 24 games, Carolina was 21-2-1.
Keep giving him the ball. That's a pretty fast first quarter. We're winding down, 5 seconds on the clock. We'll see if Pittsburgh gets this playoff, but I doubt it. Greg Anderson is yelling back at CARANO.
So the Pittsburgh offense, which scored 21 points in the first half against Denver last week, has come to life. New Jersey still struggling, trying to get on the board, but penalties have hurt them. No score, but Pittsburgh is driving, thanks to a penalty against New Jersey. Last week, Arizona held New Jersey to 222 yards total offense, their lowest output. New Jersey comes in here, and they hurt early by penalties. This is Glenn CARANO, the Pittsburgh quarterback, drops it across the middle, and the ball is dropped. It was intended for Mike Rozier, and Mike Rozier is shaken up. He took a pretty good lick by John Preston, the safety.
Took a pretty good lick. He took a great lick. Rozier is looking back at the ball. They haven't completed a pass yet on the Pittsburgh side of the field. He finds Rozier on the crossing route, and watch Preston just come out. Rozier is looking at the ball, has no chance. No way of seeing Preston come in. The ball was bobbling, just got hit, and now they're still working on him on the field.
John Preston is the defensive safety who made the hit. A blind hit. We are still scoreless at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh.
We'll take another look at John Preston. He's a rookie out of Central State in Oklahoma. He's in with 5 defensive backs. Rozier getting some pressure from the linebacker coming across. He has a chance to catch it. As he bobbles it, Preston comes in, and his helmet takes him right on the chin and lays him flat on his back, but he got up and walked off the football field. Of course, he's not in the ball game right now.
This drive started on the 9. It is now on the 28 of New Jersey. The give is that Famous Amos Lawrence, right side, flag flies. Lawrence comes out across the 25 to the 23-yard line, where Jim LeClaire and Gregory Johnson take him down.
Johnny Dearden, number 89, was the receiver out there blocking. And I think maybe they might be calling that holding penalty against him. It is awfully difficult, Tim, for a wide receiver or for anyone on a football team to engage a person on defense and hold that block for 3 or 4 seconds while a running back tries to get to the outside. And very often there's a tendency to reach up and grab.
They are still working on Mike Rozier on the Pittsburgh bench just below us. You know, Swanee, that's the kind of hit that a linebacker just dreams of.
Holding. Number 61 offense. Still third down.
That was Don Hickman out of the UFC who was holding.
I was going to say it's the kind of hit that a linebacker dreams of. It is a clean hit, but it's got to be a nightmare for the receivers coming across the middle.
Well, whenever you come across the middle in traffic, you know there are a lot of people around. You have to concentrate. Always catch the football because they'll hit you whether you catch it or not.
William Miller, Walter Holman are the setbacks now. On 3rd and 19 for CARANO. He's under trouble, and he goes down. Loses the football, but the whistle had blown. And they'll give Frank Mattias a sack.
That time, CARANO needing to pick up a good 20 yards for the first down. Was looking downfield, trying to find someone a little bit deeper. He had Johnny Dearden coming across open underneath linebacker coverage, but he knew it wasn't enough to pick up the first down. He waited a little bit too long, thus you have the sack.
So that brings Larry Swider onto the field. He has a 40-yard average, nearly 41 yards per kick. He's number 7. He will punt it away for Pittsburgh.
Now, this could be an extremely fast football game. That first quarter went by in less than 30 minutes.
You see, Swider's first punt was for 45 yards. The deep back for New Jersey is Gary Barbaro. High kick, not particularly long. Barbaro will take it on the 8-yard line. Well, they tell you never field a punt inside the 10 and hope that it gets into the end zone. That one had a funny knuckleball to it, and it doesn't look like it was going to make it. 37-yard punt. So New Jersey takes over on its own 8. First down for Brian Sipe there. He's got Carthon and Herschel Walker in the backfield. Terrence Collins, Tom McConaughey puts to the same side, twins down the bottom of the screen. Herschel Walker in motion. 5 down linemen for Pittsburgh apply a lot of pressure, and they take Carthon down with little gain, if any. Right now, let's go downstairs to Mike Adamley with this report.
Timmy, that big hit delivered by the Generals' John Preston on Mike Rozier caused Michael to have his bell rung in the football vernacular. They are breaking open ammonia capsules to see if he can regain his senses. Right now, it doesn't look like he's too well off. He probably will miss the rest of this first half. Tim?
Thanks, Mike. You know, you have a situation like that, and so many trainers are right when they say we've got to take precautions. We want to sit him out and make sure his head clears. You don't want to get him back into the ball game too soon until you know that he really is okay. There's 20 yards on 5 carries, did Rozier. This is second 8 from the 10. Herschel Walker, flags go down again. There's another penalty. Ernest Adams made the tackle. We'll wait and see what the call is.
Going back to Rozier, and
False start. Number 73, offense.
That's Doug Mackey.
Still second down.
going back to Rozier on the sideline. Unfortunately, Tim, I know how he feels. I had my bell rolling a couple of times right here in the stadium, and it's something you do have to be very careful with. A concussion is just it's a bruise of the brain, and it's something that you do have to be very, very careful about. It's cold, and cold weather is not good for that kind of injury. He should stay out of the ball game. More than likely he will. Probably could miss a couple of ball games as a result. Just the ball club being careful, not wanting him to have that concussion have long-lasting or far-reaching effect.
Pittsburgh needs him. He's been playing well. Really come into his own the last 3 games. Sight, Carthon across the 10 to the 13-yard line. Sam Clancy and Mike McKibben come up and make the tackle there.
Once again, here on the second drive of the Pittsburgh Maulers, on the second drive of the New Jersey Generals, it's the Pittsburgh Mauler defense really playing well. Let's take a look at McKibben, the linebacker, and how he reads the play. He's got to read the movement, the offensive line, and also pick up the keys from the back. He just slides inside. He's not touched, and then he comes in, picks up Carthon, makes a tackle. Someone in the offensive line probably had the responsibility of coming out and picking him up, but he just slid away from him.
Pittsburgh shows blitz. 3rd down, 5 to go. This is Herschel Walker. Has the first down and then some. There's another penalty, and play has gotten sloppy. On 3rd down and 5 or less, what New Jersey does is take out Carthon, or one of its running backs. That time it was Carthon. They bring in Sam Bowers, another tight end.
Offside. Number 97, defense. Penalty decline. First down.
Number 97 for Pittsburgh is David Graham.
Take a look at Walt Michaels on the sideline. He has been very productive this year in turning things around for the New Jersey Generals. Last year, they only had 6 wins in the entire season. This year, he's already has his 6 wins, and he's looking for number 7 today.
Coached the New York Jets for 6 seasons, was the AFC Coach of the Year in 1978. 54 years old. Played linebacker for Paul Brown and the Cleveland Browns. 1st and 10 from the 23. Fumble. Pittsburgh says it got it. And the officials agree. It looked like Mike McKibben will take another look at it, Swanee.
Well, Herschel Walker comes up. Couldn't tell whether it was a bad handoff or whether the cold and the rain affected it. You see right here. Well, it looks like it should be pretty good. His hands were just above the football. He didn't feel it, never had a chance to grab it. A big turnover, another big mistake that's going to help the Pittsburgh Mauler team. We'll see if they go on and score on this drive.
1st and 10 from the 23. Derby Trial is next week. ABC's Wide World of Sports. This is Amos Lawrence looking for room. Gets an extra block for an extra 2 yards, and he's ridden out of bounds by Horn on that side. Bobby Horn out of Oregon State, played in the National Football League with San Diego, San Francisco. Started 49 straight games with the Chargers. That's Joe Pendry. We told you last year he called the offensive plays for the Philadelphia Stars. Called those plays right into the championship game that we did out in Denver, ABC.
Right now, what he is worried about is his offensive team has not completed a pass yet. And that's been one of the strongest part of their offense so far this year.
2nd and 8 from the 21. Amos Lawrence bangs his way up the middle. We now have an injury report on Mike Rozier, so let me pass along this update. The trainer says he's sustained a mild concussion, and it is questionable whether he will return at all this afternoon.
Tim, I will venture to say that it is extremely doubtful that he will return this afternoon.
Well, at least he's up and he's trying to walk around a little bit, shake the cobwebs out. Meanwhile, his teammates are faced with 3rd and 4 on the 17.
I played the game against Baltimore after having my bells rung. Didn't even realize I caught a touchdown pass in the game.
This is Walter Holman. First down, Pittsburgh. The question begs, did you?
It's a first down for the Pittsburgh Maulers, but the only way I knew I had scored a touchdown after sustaining the concussion was I saw it on film 2 days later.
Well, 3rd and 4 from the 17 is what they just had. They have gotten the first down. They have now moved the chains. They just haven't changed the scoreboard. There it is. 10 minutes, 47 seconds remaining in the first half. Glenn CARANO sends Greg Anderson wide to the left. Jackie Flowers to the right. Holman and Lawrence to the setbacks. CARANO under pressure, and he's going to go down. Lynn Matson, a big old 253-pounder out of Washington, came across and took CARANO down. Keith Jackson and Lee Grosskupper down in New Orleans at the Superdome down there. And New Orleans has just scored to make it a 7-3 ball game. Buford Jordan has scored for the Breakers.
I remember catching the ball from across the middle.
Well, you heard Mike Rozier say he remembered catching the ball across the middle, and that's it.
But he didn't catch it.
2nd and 19 from the 22. CARANO drops the football. Holman falls on it. It'll still be Pittsburgh's football. But now they'll have one less down to operate.
Tim, the play is getting a little sloppy right now. I think it's due in part to the cold weather. It's about 39 degrees right now still. The rain is coming down a little harder. The ball's wet. It's tough to hold on to. And I think the excitement. Glenn CARANO's got his team now. They had him inside the 20. It looked like they were going to score. You know, the anticipation, the adrenaline starts pumping, and sometimes you make a little mistake. So far, they have 0 yards passing, actually minus 16 when you count the sack, and they've only have 76 yards on the ground.
Gregory Johnson, the safety, comes up. He fakes blitz. Now here comes the blitz on the inside. CARANO steps up. Across the middle, incomplete, intended for Greg Anderson. Outstanding coverage in the secondary by New Jersey. Gary Barbaro was there. Gregory Johnson came up, faked the blitz, then dropped off.
Greg Anderson had the highest average per catch in Birmingham. Came up here to Pittsburgh. Now, he's a receiver that can make the tough catch for you. But watch number 26, Barbaro, come in from the top. That's Williams on the outside, 24. Right there, he almost picks it off. But he hits Greg Anderson, knocks the ball loose. Greg Anderson can't maintain his concentration. And now we're looking at 4th down, and it's a field goal attempt.
It'll be Swider to hold. Tony Lee is the kicker. He is 6 for 9 on the year, as long as 42 yards. This one from 41. It is long enough. It hits the upright, and it's good. Tony Lee. From 42 yards out.
To the game in New Jersey when they played the Philadelphia Stars, and David Trout out of the University of Pitt, he kicked 2 and hit the goalpost, and neither one of them went in. This is a big break. He gets it up. It looks like he's going straight for it. A soccer-style kicker. He just hooks it a little bit to the left. Right there, hits to the inside of the pole, bounces in, and now it's the Pittsburgh Maulers who draw first blood on this gray and rainy day in Pittsburgh.
The Maulers have scored first. A 42-yard field goal by Tony Lee. That's Lee, who's ready to kick off. The 2 deep backs for New Jersey. 84, Marcus Hackett. Number 46, Dwight Sullivan. It's a short kick. It'll be Dwight Sullivan on the 15. Needs a block. Takes it out across the 26-yard line to the 27. Fumble. Pittsburgh says it has it. They do. It was Ike Griffin who recovered the fumble. Craig Walls made the hit.
Sullivan is being helped off the football field. He took a real big hit on that kickoff return.
It was Craig Walls who made the hit. He's out of Indiana. He grew up in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has the football when we come back. Don't forget, coming up next week on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we'll have the Kentucky Derby trial. As we are on that road to the Kentucky Derby, which is coming up in just 2 weeks on ABC Sports. It is 1st and 10 from the 28 for the Maulers. Amos Lawrence, Walter Holman. They try to bang their way up the middle. The ball is loose. But was the whistle blown? That's the question now. There's a fight for the football.
I didn't hear a whistle, Tim.
I didn't either, but I saw the ball pop loose.
It didn't look like the ball carrier was on the ground. The ball popped up in the air.
The ball belongs to Pittsburgh.
Well, they said the ball carrier was down. The ball belongs to Pittsburgh very quickly. Let's go downstairs now to Mike Adamley with Tony Lee.
Okay, Timmy, the last couple of weeks, turnovers have hurt the Maulers, but today they kind of got a couple of breaks. Ike Griffin gets the recovered fumble, and Tony Lee, you made up for dropping that missed field goal attempt last week.
Yeah, it felt good to get that one back. You know, we're up 3-0, but we're going to get more. That's it. That's it. The team's got to play better. Okay.
Go upstairs.
Amos Lawrence on 2nd and 5 has nowhere to run. The doors closed quickly by the linebacker Jim LeClaire and Willie Harper. Famous Amos Lawrence out of the University of North Carolina. We told you he had 1,000 yards in each of his 4 years in Chapel Hill. An outstanding running back. He has 17 yards on the afternoon.
But what's hurt this team so far, both teams, is that neither team has established much of a passing game. They both run the football. Pittsburgh getting the breaks coming into it. Pittsburgh was averaging 195 yards a game. Right now they have none.
Anderson, Dearden, and Flowers are your wideouts. CARANO on 3rd and 5 to throw, but he won't get the play off. Time had expired on the 32nd clock.
Delay of game. Number 18 offense. Still 3rd down.
The Burroughs ordinance tells you what the situation is. Joe Pendry obviously upset. It has been mistakes and turnovers and mental errors which have caused this team to be 2-6 because they have been so close to the first half of this year.
You heard him, he was yelling from the sidelines to the offensive team, watch 57. John Miller, the linebacker, I think that was 57 he was talking about. He's probably looking for a blitz.
Flowers and Anderson come to the bottom of the screen. Johnny Dearden is at the top. The lone setback is Holman. CARANO under pressure is going to run it out. To the 25, the 20, to the 17-yard line. Glenn CARANO was tripped up by John Preston, but it's a Pittsburgh first down. We'll see where they mark it.
It's going to be extremely close to see if he got that first down. I think they will bring in the chains to measure. Again, the defense of the New Jersey Generals, they were playing too deep back in the zone coverage, and they had man-to-man coverage underneath. So it seems to the quarterback and the receivers, they've got man coverage underneath. They've got help over the top. He couldn't find an open receiver. He knew he was running out of time. He had pressure. He took off and he ran, and he picks up the first down.
I'm surprised that Pittsburgh has not passed more, especially since CARANO has been red hot lately. He's thrown 8 touchdown passes in the last 3 games. I saw him throw for 388 yards against New Orleans 2 weeks ago. He was the USFL Player of the Week. And you know he can throw the football extremely well. He was a 4-year starter at UNLV, broke every passing record there for Ron Meyer, who's now the head coach of the New England Patriots. 1st and 10 from the 18. This is Walter Holman. To the 15, down to the 14.
And you know that Joe Pendry does like to put the football in the air, but I talked to Glenn CARANO on Friday. He said he did not have a good week of practice. You know, after coming off a great game, putting the ball in the air a lot and playing well, he said this week of practice has not been real good for him. He couldn't throw the ball well. He wasn't hitting the target. And now in the ball game, again, no yards in the air. Joe Pendry is sending the plays in, and he's calling all running plays.
Holman now has 31 yards and 6 carries. We should tell you that New Jersey runs mostly zone, except when they're inside the 20, they go to man, and that's what CARANO likes to pick on. He does this time. Has a receiver. It is Mark Rowell, and Rowell's inside the 10 to the 4 to the 3-yard line.
Mark Rowell did a good job shaking free. They're playing man-to-man coverage underneath, and the two safeties are back deep covering in zone. He's got a crossing route. He's going to get away from number 50, Bob Horn, catching it there on the sideline, picks up the first down. The safety will come over, make the hit, and Bob Horn pushes him out of bounds, only 3 yards away from the end zone.
Good call for Mark Rowell out of West Virginia. Drag pattern, they had him isolated on the linebacker, Bob Horn, number 50. Anytime you have a tight end isolated on the linebacker, man-to-man, you try to drag him to the other side. They did it successfully. First and goal from the 2. Nothing there. He'll actually lose a yard. Joe Coles, number 44, the ball carrier. Kerry Justin, the defensive back on that side, made the tackle.
Joe Coles is out of Penn State. That's a tough play to call against a veteran group of linebackers. New Jersey, they've got LeClaire, they've got Horn, Leopold, and they are our group of Willie Harper, four exceptional linebackers, all NFL veterans. They read extremely well. They're trying to run to the outside. Again, a young offensive line. He just couldn't hold them back.
Al Kimichik, Mark Rowell, 2 tight ends, power formation, the eye. This is Kimichik in motion. Second and goal from the 4. Famous Amos Lawrence going for the corner.
He makes it.
Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Amos Lawrence makes the touchdown. The block by Joe Coles set him free.
Again, we'll take a look at it. They're stringing the play out. Lawrence gets the ball. He's got Coles out in front of him. Now he can cut it up anytime he feels he's got an opening. He didn't see anything on the inside. He sprinted to the outside. That's a 5-yard. He's got 5 carries for 22 yards on the day and 1 touchdown, the only touchdown in the ball game. The extra point is good. They'll go up 10-0.
The first touchdown in the USFL for Amos Lawrence. Tony Lee's kick is up, and it's good. To the Maulers, who led last week at the half 21-0, lead here with 5 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the half. Pittsburgh has taken a 10-0 lead against New Jersey. Amos Lawrence, the touchdown, but the key play was by Mark Rowell, the tight end. He's coming back after missing 2 games with a back injury. Short kick. Rod Pagese, number 30, lets it hit the ground. Goes back to the 10, and he's tackled on the 12.
If football is a game of breaks, then this game is all in favor so far of the Pittsburgh Maulers because they have been getting all the breaks. They had 1 pass that was intercepted, but because of a penalty against Jim LeClaire, it was called back.
Herschel Walker, right side, has a hole and bangs his way across the 20. Mike Adamle now is with Amos Lawrence.
Well, Timmy, you know the San Francisco 49ers gave up on this guy, but famous Amos Lawrence proved he can still play football and still have the quickness. Describe the touchdown play.
Well, first of all, I have to say I never gave up on myself. I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I know I can do the job. But the tight play that he ran was a toss. Just a regular quarterback spin out and pitch to the halfback. You know, the blocking was there. I just took it in.
And this team is a lot better than it's shown so far, too, huh?
Oh, yeah, a whole lot better. We had some bad breaks, but we're getting better as the season goes on.
Okay, keep up the good work.
All right, thanks a lot.
Timmy?
You saw Maurice Carthon bang across for a first down, and you know it's hard to believe, Lynn Swan, that the 49ers did give up on Amos Lawrence. He was 24 games he played so well in. He also was number 2 in the NFC in kickoff returns. He had 1 that went over 90 yards for a touchdown, 92 yards. He played in Super Bowl 16 against the Bengals and Jim LeClaire.
Very often it's a game of numbers, Timmy. You just don't have room for all the ball players. That's why there's enough talent in this league.
Sipe, quick drop, timing pattern, right side McConaughey, it's complete.
Mickey Sutton gave him a lot of room, so McConaughey just backed him up. If you take a look at his stats, the fumbles led to touchdowns. The Generals turning the ball over, giving the Maulers field results, giving them field position, and the results, a touchdown and a field goal. When you play the game of football, you play any sport, you always have to be able to capitalize on the other team's mistakes, and the Maulers have done it so far.
Second down and 3 for New Jersey. Right side, Herschel Walker up by the chains. Looks like he got the first. Depends where they mark it. Troy Thomas, David Graham, Sam Clancy, and the linebacker Rob Crosby all came up, surrounded him, and made the tackle. First down, New Jersey.
Take a look at Herschel Walker. We talked about his shoulders being hurt throughout the season. In the locker room before the game, he told me he feels better now. He wants to play, and he wants to come out and show everyone that he is capable of playing the kind of football that we all expect from him.
Physical football. He is playing that today. You saw him there. Another carry by Herschel Walker. Scored the club's first ever touchdown back in March 6th. We were there, Swanee. We did that game out in Los Angeles. But it took Herschel 5 games to get his first 100-yard pro performance. Then he ran off 100 yards 5 straight games.
He was on pretty much the same schedule this year, getting his first 100-yard game after 5 games this year. But then he got hit against Los Angeles. The shoulder popped out again, and he missed a couple of ball games.
There's the time, 2 minutes, 10 seconds, as the rain intensifies at Three River Stadium. Herschel Walker left side, finds a hole, then makes a hole, and takes it down into Pittsburgh territory to the 44-yard line before the linebacker Ernest Adams tripped him up. Well, that's the 2-minute warning as Herschel Walker starts to take the ball game into his own control. There's the score. It's 10-0. We've got 2 minutes, first half. Herschel Walker now has 55 yards and 9 carries. Last year on Easter Sunday, Walker had 177 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead New Jersey to the first ever win over the Arizona Wranglers. From the 45, first down, New Jersey. Brian Sipe. High formation. Fake to Walker. Sipe with time. To Bowers. Complete. To the 16-yard line goes Sam Bowers. He had a step on the back. The safety, Jeff Delaney. And he made the catch.
Even with the rain coming down harder, the running of Herschel Walker sets this all up. A play-action pass. He finds his tight end, Sam Bowers. Downfield, a deep crossing route against man-to-man coverage. Brian Sipe has always enjoyed throwing to a good tight end, and Sam Bowers is his best.
Some said Sipe's arm had died. It doesn't look like it. First down, Herschel Walker. It was Jeff Delaney that made the cutting tackle that saved the touchdown because the corner had opened up. Sipe now trying to get the team back quickly. We're down to 1 minute, 29 seconds. He wants to melt some more of the clock.
I'll tell you one thing, Cam. Herschel is showing me quite a few more of the little quick moves that we see in good tailbacks. You haven't seen him do that very much this year. Now he's putting it together.
I wonder if the criticism has worked as a motivation factor. On 2nd and 10 from the 15, Sipe across the middle. Intercepted! Mickey Sutton to the 15, out to the 18-yard line. Sam Bowers makes the tackle.
Sam Bowers is a tight end coming across. He had a chance to make that catch. Brian Sipe was right in there. Again, the rain is coming down harder. The ball slips right through, hits him, hits his shoulder pad, and watch it when it pops up in the air. It just stays up there, and then now, Mickey Sutton comes across. He's in position. He makes the catch, stumbles a little bit, gains his balance, picks his way down the field, and it's as if he caught that interception in the end zone and downed it. They've got the ball on their 20-yard line. Again, another big break for the Maulers.
A look at Mickey Sutton, the man who made the interception. You can see at the bottom of the screen he still has the football. It was Jeff Delaney that made the hit on Bowers. Bowers had been out with a stress fracture in his foot. He's coming back. It was a well-thrown ball. Should have had it. It should be close to a New Jersey first down. Instead, it's a turnover. The 3rd turnover for New Jersey in the first half. Lawrence to the 28-yard line. Mike Adamley right now is with Mickey Sutton. Michael?
3rd big turnover of the day for the Maulers, and this one by Mickey Sutton. His first USFL interception must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it feels real good. They was driving on us. We came with the big play. Needed to stop them to take that lead.
Okay, congratulations.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Thanks.
Back to you, Tilly.
Well, he started in place of Bill Yancey, his first start. And he makes his first interception. Quite a day. There's the story. 3 turnovers for New Jersey. We've got 35 seconds remaining from the 30. This is Lawrence.
It's a game, Tim, that so far, 23 seconds on the clock in the first half, has been played primarily in the trenches. A couple of big plays, passing plays, one to Sam Bowers by Brian Sipe, but then there are the interceptions.
Pittsburgh was hurt badly when they lost Mike Rozier to a concussion early in the ball game, but Amos Lawrence has picked up the slack. He has 35 yards on 7 carries. Well, you see the time expire at the end of the first half. We'll be back with today's halftime activities after this message and a word from your local station.
We welcome those of you who are watching Pittsburgh's surprising 10-0 halftime lead over New Jersey. Quickly now, we'll bring you up to date on what is happening elsewhere in the United States Football League. The Denver Gold and New Orleans Breakers are still just before halftime in the Superdome, and New Orleans is on top in the ball game 7-3. The touchdown was scored in the first quarter. I'm just told that it has become 10-3 now. I missed seeing that field goal as I prepared for this segment. So now it's 10-3. New Orleans, the one touchdown was scored in the first quarter by the man who has been the key performer in the first half, Buford Jordan, the rookie out of McNeese State, who has certainly overshadowed Marcus Dupree and a lot of other running backs in the USFL. That was a 9-yard touchdown run. Jordan is over 70 yards rushing in the first half, and New Orleans is on top of Denver. The Philadelphia Stars struggled against San Antonio for the better part of the first half. Finally, with about 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter, the Stars got on the board. The touchdown pass, as you may have heard already, was from Chuck Fusina to Scott Fitzke, the two Penn Staters hooking up to make it 7-0 Philly Stars over San Antonio. In about a half hour, the Washington Federals, winless at 0-8, will be taking on the Oakland Invaders, winless at 0-8. The bad news for the winner of that game is that these two teams meet only once this year. When we come back, we're going to have a personal visit with one of the most important players in the USFL and one of its leading candidates for most valuable player honors at this stage, Joe Cribbs of the Birmingham Stallions.
It'll be Pittsburgh kicking off to start the second half. The rain is coming down extremely hard here at Three River Stadium. Tim Brandt and Lynn Swan with you. Swan, it hasn't been a pretty ball game. You know, and it's ironic that this Pittsburgh team scored 21 first half points last week and then lost 31-21. They squandered the lead.
And it's on their mind now. You know they don't want to have to come to the same kind of pressure. So get ready now for the kickoff for the second half.
And then Arizona held New Jersey to 222 total yards in the game last week. And New Jersey continues to struggle. It is Marcus Hackett who returns it to the 24-yard line. Looked like the ball popped loose. It didn't, and it will be New Jersey's football. Troy Thomas made the stop.
As you take a look at the stats of the halftime, you see that all the yards are gained on the ground by Pittsburgh, and they've had the best field position throughout the game. 31 yards passing for New Jersey, a -3 for Pittsburgh, but the key, that little 3 you see under the column from New Jersey in turnovers. That has set everything up for the Pittsburgh Maulers and all their scoring opportunities.
Brian Sipe had 17 300-yard games in the National Football League, but has only had one 219-yarder in this league. He has not even been close to 300. Left side hole, Maurice Carthon bangs his way across the 30 to the 32-yard line before Ernest Adams can take him down. The offensive lineup for the Generals is Brian Sipe, the quarterback. Herschel Walker and Maurice Carthon are your running backs. Tom McConaughey and Clarence Collins, your wideouts. The offensive line is led by tight end Jeff Speck, Brian Millard, John Jewell, Kent Hull, Dave Lapham, and Doug Mackey.
Brian Sipe has never won a game here at Three River Stadium. All the time he was with Cleveland, the Steelers shut him out.
12 years without a win in this stadium. His last appearance here, he threw for 6 interceptions. This is Carthon, and a pretty good lick there by Sam Clancy, the defensive end of the Maulers. Let's set that defensive lineup for you for Pittsburgh. It has played well. It has forced turnovers. It is Sam Clancy, the defensive end, David Graham, Troy Thomas, and Doug Holly on the other side. The linebackers, Ron Crosby, Ernest Adams, and Mike McKibben. The defensive backs, makeshift, Mickey Sutton, Jerry Holmes, Jeff Delaney, and Larry Friday. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 34 for the Generals. 2 tight ends, a wingback, 2 setbacks. Herschel, second effort, gets the first to the 36-yard line.
Number 54, Ron Crosby, came shooting in, but just didn't have his body under control. He threw an arm out of Herschel, and Herschel just ran right through it. There's no person on this football field who could stop Herschel Walker with just arm tackling.
You're looking at an expansion ball club, a team that did not exist this time last year, Lynn Swan, and they gave up 31 points in the second half last week. They have to be conscious of that now. From the 39 on first down, the give is inside. Not much there for Carthon.
Certainly the defensive team of Pittsburgh is now loading up against the running game, and they're just waiting for the handoff, trying to play the tendencies of this New Jersey football team, which is run on first and second down and try and get the big yards on first down to create short second down situations. And you see the halftime possessions for the New Jersey Generals. The starts have not been good. 34-yard line has been their best field position.
A punt, a fumble, and an interception. Sight drops back, throws, Bowers. He's got the football and then trips. Larry Friday had fallen down, and Bowers had an open field, but then he tripped over Friday.
Larry Friday should be grateful on that particular play that he fell on the wet AstroTurf or artificial turf field, because when he fell, the field being wet allowed him to slide, and he almost just leg whipped. You see him right there, number 27. He slides in there, then he just leg whips Sam Bowers and takes him down as he slides out of bounds. Again, the big pass plays have come. Throwing the ball to Sam Bowers, he made another great catch for him at the end of the first half, and unfortunately one slipped off the shoulder pad, resulting in an interception. That's Mike Rozier walking in, getting off the field. He will not be seen for the rest of this ball game.
Bowers now has 59 yards and 2 catches. This is first down. A ball on the 31. Again, they're going for Bowers. Knocked away nicely by the strong safety, Jeff Delaney. Bowers played only 1 year of college football. He went to Fordham. Started 9 games last year. He holds New Jersey's record for 8 receptions in 1 game.
It gets pretty tough when the rain's coming down, as hard as it is here in Pittsburgh, and it's cold, to have to rely so much on your passing game. And now, again, that's Rozier going in the locker room, getting out of the rain. And now with New Jersey Generals trailing by 10 points, they find themselves in a situation where they have to put the ball in the air.
If you missed it, Rozier was tagged early on a play. He came across the middle on a pass and was hit blindly by a linebacker. Really nailed. Suffered a mild concussion.
False start. Number 70, offense.
Number 70 is John Jewell out of Kent State. But Rozier has retired, and I doubt if we'll see him the rest of the day. Amos Lawrence has come in to replace him, and Lawrence had a big first half. 35 yards on 7 carries.
Walt Michaels getting his team, wants his team to hurry up. 13 seconds left on the clock.
Brian Sipe, an 11-year veteran who holds every Browns career season and single-game passing record.
Well, there was 4 seconds left on the clock, on the play clock. They could not get it up in time, so the New Jersey Generals wisely call a timeout.
The 1980 most valuable player in the NFL. You're looking at Walt Michaels on the left of the Generals. He set the offense, talked it over with Brian Sipe. Joe Pendry on the right side has covered all his gaps, coming with a nickel defense. It's 2nd and 15. The ball is on the 36. Sipe is the quarterback. Drops the football, and he's nailed.
But more importantly, Brian Sipe was able to get back into the pileup and recover his own fumble. Again, the rain is coming down harder. It makes getting the snap from center extremely difficult now. They're trying to keep the ball dry. They'll put a towel over it between plays, but it gets tough. You can see the rain coming down there on the surface, the sideline of the football field. Now it's 3rd down, 14 yards for first down.
Collins and McConaughey come to the bottom of the screen. Danny Knight, number 80, is at the top of the screen. One back and a wing. Timing pattern, underthrown, intended for Danny Knight.
They showed blitz all the way. Brian Sipe pre-read the defense. He saw the blitz coming. What happened, Danny Knight, number 80, he's a rookie. He did not recognize the blitz. He never turns around to make the blitz control adjustment on the route. You see the ball thrown way behind him. He had an opportunity to come back and make that catch, take it inside. Incomplete, 4th down, and now they're going to attempt a field goal. Roger Ruzek coming into the ball game.
Good read, Lynn Swan. It was Jeff Delaney who came on the blitz. Sipe now 5 for 10, 81 yards. Roger Ruzak is 8 of 11. His longest is 51 yards against Birmingham. And again, the 30-second clock goes down to 0. Too much time moving back.
That delay, number 9, offense. That takes them out of the range. They are not going to attempt a field goal at this point. A crucial error. The team just did not get on the field quick enough. They took too much time. And I'll tell you, Walt Michaels has every reason to frown at the play of his football team so far.
The Generals look like they're in a daze. Mental errors. It would have been a 53-yarder. For Roger Ruzak, his longest, as I mentioned, was 51. So it would have been difficult at best anyway. Bob Grupp is now on to punt it out. The deep man for Pittsburgh is Mark Harper, number 26. Low snap. Grupp gets it out. Not a particularly good kick. But it takes a good bounce for New Jersey. Rolls inside the 10 to the 4 to the 3. It's down near the 2.5-yard line. So Pittsburgh now has its back to the wall. Will have poor field position, a 37-yard punt. Boy, it should be a big day for ABC. We talked about all the horses that are getting ready for the Kentucky Derby, which ABC will cover along with the trials, but also the National Champion Sprint Car Championship with Jack Hewitt, Ricky Hood, and Larry Rice. Tom Bigelow will be in there. Quite a field. Here it's 1st and 10. The ball on the 2. Amos Lawrence tries to bang his way out, get some breathing room for the Maulers. Let us set that offensive lineup for you for the Maulers. Glenn Carano is still your quarterback. Mike Rozier has taken the rest of the day off. He has a mild concussion. Amos Lawrence has come in his place. Walter Holman is in. Greg Anderson and Jackie Flowers are the wideouts. Two very, very good ones. Mark Rao is the tight end. Donnie Hickman, Joe Lukens, Chuck Corial, Don Corbin, and Don Maggs are your down linemen.
Pressure's on them right now as they're backed up inside their 5-yard line. The rain is coming down. They have to be very conservative, but cautious football at this point.
Donnie Hickman comes back in, replacing Dubiago. And Amos Lawrence again, straight ahead. You get down this deep, it's straight ahead, no fair dodging. Let's set that defensive lineup for you. James Lockett, Tom Woodland, and Lynn Madsen. The linebackers, Willie Harper, Jim LeClaire, Bobby Horn, and Bob Leopold. Terry Justin, Terry Daniels, the defensive backs, Greg Johnson and Gary Barbaro.
3rd down.
Johnson can play like a linebacker. And Barbaro has the NFL experience to read and react extremely well. From the 7-yard line, Amos Lawrence, this time around the left side. And he's lassoed at the 5 by Gregory Johnson. We just told you about Gregory Johnson, strong safety. Plays extremely well, like a linebacker, fills quickly. He's strong enough to take a tackler on, or a ball carrier on head on, and quick enough to cover one-on-one.
Well, there you see the possessions for the Pittsburgh Maulers. This, the starts for the Pittsburgh Maulers in their plays. They have really controlled most of the game, but it's come really as a result of turnovers by the New Jersey Generals. Right now, a great opportunity for the New Jersey offense. They'll get the ball in excellent field position.
High snap, a lot of pressure. Schweider gets it away. It is fielded by Barbaro up near midfield. Gets a block down to the 35, breaks out of there, drops the football. Pittsburgh's got it back. Mark Harper, number 26, recovers the football for the Maulers.
That breaks the weather condition, whatever it is, and it's probably a combination of a lot of things. The New Jersey Generals are playing like a snake-bitten ball club. They have made the turnovers. They've been struggling. They've not played consistently in this ball game. Gary Barbaro, a veteran ball player, he takes this punt. The conditions are bad. Look at the way he's holding it. He gets it tucked away there. Now he's going to run right up the center. Instead of putting both hands around, he runs to his own man. And right there, the ball is just stripped away from him, and he can't get onto it. And then it's a free-for-all, but the Maulers have come up with it again. Taking poor field position, 3 plays. They have to punt the football deep in their own territory. Instead of New Jersey having the opportunity to get 7 points on the scoreboard, it's the Maulers with the ball on their own 30-yard line.
Mark Harper made the recovery. He still has the football. Coryell made the hit on Barbaro. First and 10 from the 31. This is Lawrence spinning, turning, driving for nothing. Maybe lost a couple of yards. Finally, the New Jersey defense rises to the occasion and shows some emotion. The Generals offense has committed 3 fumbles and 1 interception. Mark Rao comes out of the ball game. Amos Lawrence comes out of the ball game. It's 2nd and 10. Anderson and Flowers are wide, along with Johnny Dearden at the top of your screen. The handoff is to Holman, left side. And again, the linebackers fill quickly. Some of the scores that we gave you at halftime, we reiterate. The Philadelphia Stars now lead San Antonio 14-0. They've scored again. Chuck Fusina, the numbers on him, having an outstanding day. 14 completions and 19 attempts for 2 touchdowns. And the Denver Gold trailing New Orleans now by a 10-3 score. Still at halftime at the Superdome. Here at Three River Stadium, we're midway through the 3rd quarter. CARANO hands the ball straight ahead, and at least this time, Swider will have room to punt it away. The ball carrier was William Miller. The crowd boos because of a run on 3rd down.
Well, the crowd's booing because what they're seeing now on the part of the Pittsburgh Maulers is very conservative, cautious football instead of just playing their game. Part of that is due to the fact that it is wet. They don't want to create the turnovers. The passing game just hasn't been working for them.
Swider to punt it away. His average is 41 yards. His longest is 65 yards, and he needs a pretty good one here. The Generals are coming, and this time he really gets a foot into it. Drives Barbaro back to the 18-yard line. They'll mark it on the 17. Larry Swider has 5 punts inside the 20-yard line. That one a 48-yarder. Well, it continues to rain here at the stadium where the Three Rivers meet. Monongahela, the Allegheny come in to form the Ohio, and it looks like we've got a river on the sidelines here at the field. 1st and 10 from the 22. New Jersey really needs to generate some offense. This is a critical series. Herschel Walker, right side, has a hole. Out across the 25 to the 31-yard line. Rambles the big guy out of Georgia. Herschel Walker
breaking tackles along the way. Now, if you recall, early in the ball game, the only time that the New Jersey Generals ever threatened to score points in this ball game came as a result of Herschel Walker's running, then taking advantage of that with play-action passes to move it downfield. They started this drive off with a very good run by Herschel Walker. They have to continue to establish that running game, keep the defensive team of Pittsburgh off balance.
1st down, Generals. Again, it's Walker. This time, he comes around the left side, and the defense runs to the football. Maurice Carthon, the ball carrier, left side. And that's one thing this defense does in Pittsburgh. It is aggressive. It gets to the football quickly. Great pursuit. The outside men turn things back in. Doug Holly was the end on that side that forced it and strung it out and waited for pursuit. And Holly is a little bit shaken up.
Well, he paid the price when he stopped Coffin. Coffin tried to turn it up inside after he realized he couldn't gain anything by going to the outside. Holly made the stop, but ended up on the bottom of the pile. And there's 4:43 left to play in the 3rd quarter with New Jersey in possession.
That's big Doug Holly out of SMU. He was shaken up on the last play, but we just heard him say that he's ready, just bruised it. He'll come back in the next play. Ike Griffin is sitting out. You know, Doug Holly's daddy was Alvin Lewis. Fought a 12-round unanimous decision, won by Muhammad Ali. 2nd and 9 from the 32. This is Herschel Walker. Herschel bangs his way out to the 40-yard line.
He banged in the middle linebacker, Ernest Adams, and Ernest, after he hit Herschel Walker, was stood straight up. He's sitting down on the field now. He's a little slow to get up. That's a perfect example of what kind of power Herschel Walker has, and he took him on, and he didn't really get up to speed. You know, took him on just after he turned upfield, and if Herschel Walker had hit Ernest Adams going at full speed, he probably would have kept on going down the field.
Adams comes out. McAdoo comes in. Herschel Walker, 6'1", 225 pounds, runs a 4.2 40. He now has 82 yards and 13 carries. This is 3rd and short. First down, Generals.
The pileup is back at the 42, and Herschel Walker slid right through it, ended up just a half yard short of the 45, where he picked up the first down easily.
Big blocks by John Jewell and Brian Millard for the Generals, and Herschel Walker got through the hole quickly and picked up the first down for New Jersey.
Trailing by 10 points with just over 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. This New Jersey team does have the time to take a slow drive and get downfield to get back in this ballgame.
This is Walker. Again, there's good pursuit by the defense. Mike McKibben and Larry Friday come up to make the tackle on Herschel Walker.
15 carries, 88 yards. But more importantly, Herschel Walker is running with authority. Once he gets his shoulders turned upfield, he is not showing any signs of soreness, of the shoulders bothering him. He's making good moves downfield. He's using some good footwork, a little bit more quickness in his footwork than we've seen in the last 8 ball games.
Pittsburgh's defense is not one of the more complex defensive schemes that you'll see. They run a lot of zone. They will also play man. They show man this time. They do disguise defenses, and they're not afraid to blitz. Ernest Adams back in the ball game. A 2nd and 9. Sipe to throw, in trouble. Flags fly. It was intended for Sam Bowers, but there is a flag down. And Sipe was under a lot of pressure.
Usually it's holding when you throw it in the middle of a pile like that in the offensive line while they're pass protecting. The Maulers indicating it is against the New Jersey Generals. Now the pass goes incomplete. Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker is a good blocker, but right here he just doesn't get set. McKibben picks him up, pushes him back, and cuts back underneath.
Number 70, offense, decline.
And then Brian Sipe takes him down.
Good technique that time on the blitz, though, by McKibben. You saw him tuck his tail, use his head as a battering ram. He took Herschel on straight up. He's 224 pounds. Herschel's 222 pounds. And with the momentum from the blitz, he made a good contact and just knocked him out of the way. John Jewell was called for holding. So now they move him back, and it'll be 3rd and a long 9. A nickel defense by Pittsburgh. The give is to Herschel Walker, and he's run out of bounds way shy of the first down by Jeff Delaney and Mark Harper.
Key plays in that drive. We're stopping Maurice Carthon at the line of scrimmage on first downs, putting them in the 2nd and long situation. And of course, the penalty, which they refused after the pass went incomplete by Brian Sipe. It's another punting situation for the New Jersey Generals. Bob Grupp.
Grupp to punt it away. His average is 37.8 yards. Again, there's a flag down. A short punt. It's fair caught on the 25-yard line by Mickey Sutton. And it is really starting to rain now. 24-yard punt. And our friend Keith Jackson would call this just an old-fashioned gully washer.
Well, the penalty goes against New Jersey Generals, illegal procedure. You know, it's tough for Bob Grupp, the punter of this team, New Jersey Generals, to get off a good punt when the rain is coming down, the ball slipping off the side of his foot. It only went for 24 yards.
Declined. First down.
Well, we've got 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and our score remains the same. Pittsburgh 10, New Jersey nothing. One whale of a race, along with the national championship sprint car racing in the Paris Mile. This is Glenn CARANO on first down to throw. He's in trouble. Now finds a man. It's Lawrence. Lawrence can't find his footing, slips in the rain on the synthetic turf, and Terry Daniels takes him down.
I got to tell you, bad weather football games can be a lot of fun. Now, I know it's cold down there and it's hard to get your footing. But then Lawrence gets out there. He tries to make a cut. He can't make the cut. He's slipping and sliding. Then he gets hit. I always enjoyed catching a pass, then going out of bounds, just slides like a little kid sliding down the grass field.
You know, the bad weather can be fun to play in, but it certainly hurts the attendance. 14,418 are here. They've braved the weather. There were more than 25,000 tickets distributed. As you watch Amos Lawrence and Jim LeClaire fight their way through a puddle. So I tell you, not only are the fans hardcore, but our camera people and all the technicians that are working down in the rain, along with Mike Adamley, our sideline reporter, well, they're really gutting it out today.
Yes. Well,
of course, you wouldn't know about that.
When you're a veteran of a lot of football games, you try and find the ways to stay dry. And us retired football players really like it up here in the booth.
Yeah, but see, I spent last year on the sidelines. I know what it's like. 3rd down and 4. CARANO, 3-step drop, throws. Jackie Flowers has it to the 45-yard line. Jackie Flowers. First down for Jackie Flowers, and his streak continues to roll.
That is the first catch for the Pittsburgh Maulers this ballgame. Jackie Flowers, who came here by way of the Arizona Wranglers and Chicago Blitz, makes a real fine catch. And you notice he caught the ball with his body. Didn't want to trust his hands completely in this game because it's wet and it's cold. Used his body to protect that ball as it came in.
Jackie Flowers has a pretty good streak going now. In his 24 catches, he has 18 for first downs, 5 for touchdowns. And they're going to wait for the clock to wind down to end the 3rd quarter. So, United States Football League game between New Jersey Generals and the Pittsburgh Maulers. We'll continue after this message and a word from our local stations. It's Pittsburgh ball when we come back, and they still have the lead, 10-0. It is really raining at Three River Stadium. You know, one of Lynn Swan's old teammates of the Pittsburgh Steelers is up in the booth with us, Mike Wagner, and his daughter Heather is here. And Heather pointed out that now there is a river in the middle of the field, and they may call this Four River Stadium. First down, Pittsburgh, as we start the final quarter. This is Holman, left side, looks for a block, can't find it.
It is pretty tough going out there. Has been tough going all day long in the weather conditions as we take a look at 3rd quarter stats. And the key, the 4 turnovers by the New Jersey Generals have caused this game to be in favor of the Pittsburgh Maulers. And you can see 131 to 197 in terms of yards because Pittsburgh has had the best field position. They have not had to go very far. Glenn CARANO, after 7 years sitting on the bench in Dallas, gets a chance to lead the ball club, has his team out by 10.
2nd and 8. This is Lawrence. Looks for room, can't find it. Now cuts back inside and loses a ton on the play. But you know, bad weather has always acted as a neutralizer.
Well, it certainly has, but you would think that with bad weather, the New Jersey team would have a better performance. They have had a stronger running attack. The offensive line, I think, is much stronger than Pittsburgh's offensive line, and on paper, a better offensive line to go against their defense. But they haven't come through. They've made the mistakes, the fumbles, the turnovers. Their field position has been bad, and they've played this game as if they're going against a 2-6 ball club, who is not very good. They may have taken this team a little bit too lightly.
Glenn CARANO is faced with a 3rd and 8 situation on the last play, 2nd and 8 rather. Now he's got 3rd and 15. Now he steps up in the pocket, and CARANO is sacked. Big number 75, Frank Mattias. 6'1", 259-pounder out of Holy Cross.
CARANO has only completed 3 passes in the entire ball game. Jackie Flowers, of course, crucial receptions throughout the season. In 4 games he's been with Pittsburgh, has only got 1.
There are the numbers on Larry Swider for the afternoon. He's on to punt it away. The last time, nearly kicked the ball out of the stadium.
Weather like this, the ball might go anyway off his foot. It's wet. Barbaro will have a tough time fielding it.
The Generals look like they're coming. They've loaded everybody up on the line of scrimmage. The lone setback and deep back is Gary Barbaro. Here they come. The kick by Swider. It's low. Barbaro will take it, and he drops it, and Pittsburgh gets it back. Not yet. It's still loose. And now New Jersey has it.
Well, I told you the ball would be tough to handle. It came off Larry Swider's foot, end over end. Not a great punt. Gary Barbaro is trying to field it. didn't call for a fair catch. Mark Harper ended up recovering the ball for the New Jersey, knocking the ball loose. Whatever, it's New Jersey still has the football.
All right, Lynn Swan, since you fumbled before commercial, let's take it back and one more time. We'll take a look at the turnover when we get a chance. Right after this play, it was a 34-yard punt by Swider. Nonetheless, the Generals get it back. So Brian Sipe now goes to work. He's got 1st and 10 on the 27-yard line. He's going to throw, and he goes to Bowers, and Bowers drops the football. So right now, the pigskin looks like a bar of soap, and they can't hold on to it.
Well, we'll take a look at that punt again. Swider punts it. Now Barbaro is trying to field it. Ball comes in. It gets away from him. Number 26, Mark Harper, looks like he's going to recover. He gets down on it, and the ball squirts away from him. Then the man who picks it up is number 84, Marcus Hackett, to recover it for the New Jersey Generals. And I got it out all right.
All right, so the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Pittsburgh Maulers now, show man defense. This time Herschel Walker's got an opening. He's up across midfield down to the 47-yard line. Goes Herschel Walker, and Mickey Sutton makes the touchdown-saving tackle.
And one thing that saved that play for Mickey Sutton in terms of him being able to make the tackle is that Herschel Walker, just coming out of a break, couldn't get it turned up and get things going on this wet surface. He gets a great hole on the outside. He's just weaving, not making any real sharp cuts, getting downfield. Mickey Sutton has the angle, and before Herschel Walker can turn on the jets, he's down at midfield on the 44-yard line.
1st and 10 now for New Jersey. Collins in motion. The pitch back to Walker, left side. Picks up a hole and bangs his way out for a gain of 4. Howard McAdoo comes up and makes the tackle. That's Doug Holly. He's shaken up again. So while we have a little break in the action, let's go downstairs to Mike Adamle.
Gentlemen, I don't know when I've spent a more miserable day, but you talk about fan dedication. These two folks traveled all the way from Cleveland, Ohio to see Brian Sipe.
Right, Brian Sipe.
You know, there's better ways to spend your Easter Sunday.
True, you're right.
Are you enjoying yourself, sir?
Oh, it's just super. Just super. Snow in Cleveland, rain in Pittsburgh. What do you want?
You guys both ought to have your head examined. We'll see you later. Timmy?
All right, Michael. Herschel Walker now has 123 yards. Second best afternoon of the year. And again, second effort takes him down close to a 1st down.
12 minutes in the 4th quarter, and the offensive line of the New Jersey Generals starting to come to life, opening up the holes. Herschel Walker running well, Coffin picking up yards, bringing up a 3rd and short situation. Of course, those aren't the only two people that have come down from Cleveland to watch Brian Sipe. A couple of his former teammates have come down. Robert Johnson, Doug Deacon, and Mike Babbs from that offensive line came down here to watch their old partner play. Herschel Walker, 19 carries, 128 yards.
That 27-yarder that he broke a few minutes ago, the longest of the year for Herschel. We saw Holly go out a minute ago. Now David Graham is hurt. Howard had an interesting interview yesterday with Joe Cannizzaro. I don't know if you saw it, Lynn Swan, but Cannizzaro, of course, the owner of the Breakers, and he's chairman of the Strategic Steering Committee, the long-range planning. And he said the owners have a meeting this Tuesday to discuss the situation about moving to the fall of the spring. This is Sipe. Sipe's going for Walker. Great catch by Herschel Walker. Gets up down to the 15-yard line.
That is a veteran call. A great strategic play. 3rd and short, looking for the obvious run. Brian Sipe fakes it. Herschel Walker, world-class speed, gets outside. He's got man-to-man coverage. Gets downfield on Mickey Sutton. And watch the adjustment he makes on the ball. He just steps, goes up, and makes a diving catch. Big play for the New Jersey Generals.
Herschel led the Generals in receptions with 53 last year. He had 17 coming into this ball game. That was a great catch, a big catch for the Generals. Walker bangs down. He's stopped quickly by Ernest Adams. Well, the Generals are driving. Right now, let's go to New York. Here's Jim Lampley.
Tim, the Denver Gold have shown a penchant for coming from behind. They'll have to do it again today. After a fumbled punt had given New Orleans field position, Buford Jordan again, that man with a 13-yard run. And in the 3rd quarter, the Breakers now lead the Gold 17-3. Back to Tim Brandt in Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Jim Lampley. Here it's 10-0 Pittsburgh. But New Jersey's on the move. Inside the 15. Herschel Walker in motion. The lone setback now is Carthon. Seitz is going to throw. Has time. Now he's in trouble. Across the middle, and it's complete to the 11-yard line. His tight end, Sam Bowers, makes the catch.
This time Sam Bowers, falling down on his knees, hangs on to the football as Larry Friday comes up to make the tackle. Sam Bowers is a man who usually will not drop anything that comes anywhere near his hands. Has had a tough day here in the cold. He's dropped a couple. One resulted in an interception. This time, falling down on his knees, he makes the catch. Brings up third down and about 5, a long 5.
Bowers now has 63 yards on 3 catches. The other receiver with Bowers in college was Art Monk of the Washington Redskins. High school, rather. Flags fly. Looked like Pittsburgh jumped across too early. Ron Crosby, the linebacker, was coming on a blitz, couldn't stop on the wet turf, and he went down.
Well, they need a 5 downs. It looks like a long 5 downs for a first 5 yards for a first down. They'll pick up 5 on this penalty, but I think they'll still end up just a little bit short. Well, Herschel Walker is playing a great football game for the New Jersey Generals, even though they're behind under these conditions.
Offside. Number 54, defense. Still third down.
And then coming up with the great adjustment. We see a few of the flash dancers, the cheerleaders for the Pittsburgh Maulers on the inside, called the flash dancers because, of course, the movie Flash Dance was filmed here in Pittsburgh, utilizing the city and the building of the subway for background and the Pittsburgh ballet dancers in some of the scenes. Right now, they're staying warm as their defense is trying to stop the first serious drive of the New Jersey Generals.
3rd and 2. Herschel Walker over the middle, bangs inside the 5. It's going to be awfully close. He got it. Ken Dombrowski and Howard McAdoo made the tackle, but that defensive line of Pittsburgh now is awfully weak. Doug Holly was injured. He went out. Ike Griffin was injured. He went out. Dombrowski went out.
Walt Michaels on the sideline. He knows his team can come back. There's enough time to do it. Desperately, they need a touchdown here. I started talking about Herschel and that great catch he made. You know, coming into this ball game, he and Rozier come from running programs in college. They made great adjustments, just learning how to be better receivers.
8 minutes, 38 seconds left now. This is Herschel Walker coming around the left side, has the corner. Touchdown, Generals!
Great block by number 33, Maurice Carthon, that sprung Herschel Walker to the outside, allowing him just to out-sprint the rest of the secondary. You see Herschel Walker, 34. Now all he has to do is follow his blocking. As soon as he sees a hole, he can turn it up. Carthon goes inside, cuts off the pursuit. Everybody's coming in on an angle, but Herschel Walker just sprints towards the corner. Everybody is behind. He's in. If the extra point is good, they'll only be trailing by 3 with 8 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the ball game.
Number 41, Delaney had a shot at him and couldn't make it. This is Roger Ruzak. The kick, it's up, and it's good. So Herschel Walker, who had 177 yards and 3 touchdowns last Easter Sunday, last year, now has 135 yards here in the rain this afternoon.
1984 is an Olympic year, not only for able-bodied athletes, but for disabled athletes as well. This is the first time the International Games for the Disabled will be held in the United States. They'll feature world-class competitors in more than 20 Olympic-style events. I support these brave athletes, but they need your support as well. To find out how you can help, write to International Games for the Disabled, Eisenhower Park, East Meadow, New York, 11554.
Pittsburgh now has to be thinking about the last 2 weeks. The Maulers blew a 10-point lead in the last minute and 40 against New Jersey 2 weeks ago. They blew a 21-point lead in the second half against Denver last week. This is Mark Harper. And he goes down on the 16-yard line. Good coverage by the New Jersey Generals. Take a look at the scoring drive by the Generals. They have maintained their composure even though they have not played that well. Walker had 42 yards on that drive. 5:02 it took. This program is being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Now let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
WTAE-TV, Channel 4, Pittsburgh.
First down for the Maulers. Flowers and Anderson, twin receivers to the bottom of the screen. Now Flowers goes in motion. The give on the right side to Holman. Nothing. Bluebirds come out at Three River Stadium now. They think Pittsburgh's being much too conservative.
Look at Herschel Walker's output today. 165 yards he's accounted for in running and catching the football. And Pittsburgh only has 120 yards. They have totally been ineffective, completely ineffective in throwing the football. And that's one reason why I think they're still running the football now.
Herschel's biggest day was against Washington last spring. He ran for 194 yards. This is CARANO across the middle. And it's dropped by Mark Rao, the tight end. Well,
CARANO didn't have a good week of practice, and it's not his own. It's not his fault that the passing game has not worked that well. It's the rain. That one was a little bit behind the receiver. Tough catch, but the rain has been a big factor here. The New Jersey defense just playing back off the ball, giving them opportunities, and they haven't been able to take advantage of them. Philadelphia Stars leading by 13 over the Gunslingers atop the Atlantic Division.
CARANO now 3 of 7 for 29 yards. This is third down in a taxi ride. He has 10 yards for the first. Throws incomplete. It was intended for Amos Lawrence, but Lawrence slipped, missed his footing, and the ball was thrown behind him. So now Pittsburgh has to kick it away, and that man right there, Joe Pendry, has to be a little bit nervous.
Boy, he has to be nervous. He's concerned. His ball club has lost a couple of tough ball games. In the fourth quarter, in the second half, they had a 21-point lead over the Denver Gold last week, and they couldn't hang on for a victory.
You know, I think it's getting colder. We may have some snow before we leave.
Well, this rain, when it gets wet, makes the cold go right to your bones. It chills you, so it's pretty tough to stay warm out there right now.
Larry Swider to punt for Pittsburgh. Marcus Hackett is the deep man for New Jersey. Low snap. Swider gets away a good punt in these conditions. Hackett takes it. Across midfield to the 47-yard line. Good coverage by Craig Walls. 36-yard punt. Craig Walls throws Hackett out of bounds.
New Jersey will get the ball back. 7:06 on the clock. And that's an advantage for the kind of offense that they run, ball control offense. If Herschel Walker continues to make great catches, they can put the ball in the air, but I think you're going to see him run the football.
Set a one-week deadline for all embassy personnel to leave the country. That's coming up next on ABC's World News Tonight, Sunday with Sam Donaldson. Herschel Walker taken down by Howard McAdoo and Larry Friday.
Only picked up 1 yard. The defense of the Pittsburgh Maulers has to get extremely tough at this point. They'd like to stop them right here at midfield. They don't want to let them get in position to kick a field goal or even attempt one.
The defense now has to become aggressive. It has to put pressure on Sight. The clock is a factor. The crowd becomes a factor. We've got 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Sight being pressured from behind. Throws incomplete. Intended for Maurice Carthon, but there was good backside pressure by the linebacker, Mike McKibben.
McKibben coming in on a blitz. He had a man-to-man coverage. He had Sam Bowers running downfield, trying to get open on the flag route, going towards the corner of the end zone. Sipe just didn't have enough time. He saw Maurice Carthon sitting downfield, tried to dump it off to him, couldn't get it complete. Again, Brian Sipe has never won in this stadium. He would love to get a victory. Glenn Carano told me he'd like to have his team stop him from winning here.
Pittsburgh goes to the nickel defense. 5 receivers for Sipe. He throws across the middle. Should be a flag. Pass interference. Here comes the flag.
Number 27, Larry Friday, was the man they're going to call it on. He was all over number 82, Clarence Collins. Brian Sipe was under the pressure of a blitz. He got great protection from his team to get his receivers enough time to work downfield. He saw it coming, got the ball away, and you'll see Larry Friday right here. He pushes him as the ball is in the air and knocks him down. Obvious pass interference. I don't know if they'll call it intentional pass interference or not. They do, so they mark the ball at the point of contact with the infraction.
Pass interference. Number 27, defense. First down.
So again, this time in the drive, it's the New Jersey Generals that come up with a big play via penalty against the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Total yards, second half. Total domination by the Generals. Maintain their composure after a disastrous first half. This is Seif with Carthon and Walker. It's Walker on the right side. Gets a block from Carthon. Turns the corner. Goes out of bounds around the 20-yard line. Herschel Walker. The Heisman Trophy winner as a junior at the University of Georgia. Runner-up his sophomore year and finished third in the balloting his freshman year.
From our end zone camera, you see he's just reading his blockers. He's got Millard out in front. He gets a hold just to the outside. He skirts out there, tries to tightrope the sideline, sees pressure coming, and steps out of bounds before contact is made, picked up as much as he felt he could get.
A 13-yard pickup for Herschel. He now has 149 yards in 24 carries. The clock reads 6 minutes, 13 seconds left. Collins in motion. This is Walker. 15 to the 15-yard line, and that's where he stopped.
Walker's picking up the yards. He's running a little bit more cautious right now, just making sure of his footing. He's got 25 for 153, but now he just wants to make sure that his feet are planted firmly on the ground and he doesn't slip. Instead of just making the sharp cuts and turns upfield, he's just kind of weaving, bending. When he sees an open lane, he bends into it, tries to pick up the yards. As you see, 5 minutes, 37 seconds on the clock, ticking down.
The tackle was made by the linebacker Mike McKibben, who played for the Generals last year. Second down and 7 yards to go. This is Carthon to the 10, the 5. Touchdown, New Jersey! Maurice Carthon followed Dave Lapham, Doug Mackey. Got the hole, broke into the secondary and scored.
Maurice Carthon, he follows Mackey and Lapham, and the rest of the defensive team of Pittsburgh was following none other than Herschel Walker. He had to key on him. The defense was slanting to the right of the offensive line. Carthon gets some good blocks up front, cuts upfield, and because they were in man-to-man coverage and that defensive secondary was spread out, there was no one back there to make the tackle.
Luzak's extra point attempt is good, and the Generals have the first lead of the day for New Jersey, 14 to 10. That's our score with 5:21 left in the ball game in Pittsburgh. There's the score. 5:21 remaining from Three River Stadium. The wind is picked up, the temperature is dropping, and the pressure has mounted, and the ball falls off the tee.
The wind just toppled it over before Roger Ruzak has a chance to take it. They'll tee it back up. Try it once again. Five plays, 48 yards, and only 1 minute and 45 seconds elapsed as New Jersey mounted a scoring drive. Maurice Carthon scoring on a good 16-yard run set up by the running of Herschel Walker and the fact that the defensive secondary was in man-to-man coverage spread out.
The kick taken by Pittsburgh on the 10. That's Johnny Dearden. Not much running room. He does get back across the 20, and that's where the offense of the Maulers will take over. Now the pressure goes to the quarterback, Glenn CARANO. College CARANO threw for 36 touchdowns. He ran for 19 more.
Presently, the rain has stopped falling. The field is still wet. The ball will still be wet. The Glenn CARANO and the passing attack of the Pittsburgh Maulers has been non-existent this afternoon. If this team is going to come back and recapture the lead, they're going to have to be able to throw the ball effectively unless they can get a great run together in this drive.
CARANO played with the Dallas Cowboys for 7 years as a backup. 4:53 left. This is for Jackie Flowers. Jackie Flowers makes the catch. Great catch by Jackie Flowers, picked up in a trade from the Chicago Blitz, March 20th. He has now caught 19 passes.
Jackie Flowers running a corner pattern, a bow out against the zone coverage. There's another receiver in front of him, drawing the coverage up tight so he could slip in between this coverage. And then number 27, Gregory Johnson, comes over to make the hit, knocks him out of bounds, but it's a complete pass.
Offensive line has to give CARANO time. He's been sacked 9 times in the last 2 games. 4:15 left. First down pass. Complete again, this time to Greg Anderson. George Heddleson, the general manager of the Pittsburgh organization, engineered the trade that brought Anderson to Pittsburgh in early February. He also engineered the trade that brought Flowers in March 20th.
Well, he's going against Terry Daniels in the corner, playing for the injured Mike Williams. Greg Anderson and Jackie Flowers in a game they played against the New Orleans Breakers, both accounted for 10 catches. More catches in a single game than any of the receivers in the USFL.
The acquisition of Flowers means that teams can't double-team Anderson. First down, CARANO with time, throws across the middle. It is complete to William Miller. Fumble. No, they say he was down.
And
a break for Pittsburgh.
He was, Tim. He was down. He hit the ground. The play is dead. Once you hit the ground, the official blew the whistles. There's no fumble on the play. This time he hits the pass underneath the pass coverage. Hits William Miller, number 22, underneath the pass coverage of the linebacker. Hugh LeClaire, number 55. He was a good 15 yards deep. John Preston came up, number 25, to make the hit.
3 minutes and 29 seconds left now. Good position for CARANO to be in. Second and short, it's a waste down. He can always come back on third for the first. Flags fly. The pass was intended for William Miller, but there is a flag down.
Craig Mathias tried to anticipate the snap. Caught in the neutral zone. Makes no difference if Bob Leopold, who leads the New Jersey Generals in interceptions, knocked that pass down, because it'll be a first down for the Pittsburgh Maulers. And surprisingly,
Offside, number 75, defense, first down.
And surprisingly, the Pittsburgh Maulers, who have not been able to mount a serious passing game in this so far this afternoon, are now completing the ball in this drive. They have possession at the 35-yard line.
Plenty of time. The rain has nearly stopped. The pressure now is on the defense of the Generals. LeClaire, a 13-year veteran. Leopold, out of Notre Dame, a veteran. This is Amos Lawrence inside the 30 to 26-yard line. Famous Amos Lawrence out of the University of North Carolina.
A veteran linebacking core like you have for the New Jersey Generals should have been expecting a draw play. They've been very successful in the air. Now they set up for a pass, handed off to Lawrence. He finds a good hole right up the middle until number 26, Gary Barbaro, hangs on to his ankles to bring him down. It's second and short.
Jim LeClaire was there on the tackle as well. Lawrence played against LeClaire in Super Bowl 16. Lawrence with the 49ers, LeClaire with the Bengals. This is famous Amos again down to the 23-yard line. LeClaire makes the tackle. The clock continues to roll at 2:25.
The Pittsburgh Maulers, a young team, expansion team. The record only 2-6, but you can see for the drive they're mounting here late in the fourth quarter, they're a young team that believes in themselves. They have not given up 1 second in this ball game. They're putting together a passing attack, which we haven't seen all afternoon. They're now in field goal position, but they need a touchdown to go out in front.
Anderson to the bottom of the screen. Jackie Flowers to the top. We've got the 2-minute warning from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But don't go away. 14-10 with the Maulers driving. It's a chess game now between the two teams. Both have talked over the strategy with their principal people on offense and defense. Glenn CARANO has talked to Joe Pendry. That man right there, Walt Michaels, has talked to Jim LeClaire, the man who is a 13-year veteran, played with the Cincinnati Bengals and calls the defenses for the Generals. It is 1st and 10 for the Maulers. Fumble! CARANO gets it back. Spins out, now throws incomplete. Bounces it for William Miller. He didn't see Holman on the right side. After he dropped the football, I think he was just trying to survive.
That was pretty dangerous, a dangerous play on the part of the Pittsburgh Maulers. Danger coming into play where the ball was not handled well from center. CARANO picks it up. Right here, he should just take it and run upfield. But no, he tries to find the receiver downfield. It could have very easily have been intercepted and picked off, as the timing of the play was totally destroyed.
Dangerous play, no damage done. 1:54 left. 2nd and 10. Draw play to Holman. To the 20, 15, down to the 14. He drops the football. It's loose.
Don
Again,
Maggs,
they say the ball was down.
Don Maggs, number 76, is the tackle for the Pittsburgh Maulers. The ball popped around. He actually kicked it and kicked it right back to Walter Holman. You see it here. He's coming to the outside. He's got a little room. Tries to get there to turn upfield. John Preston grabs him, strips the ball loose, strips the ball away from him. You see it there on the ground.
The ground cannot cause a fumble. And keep in mind, in the United States Football League, a fumble inside the 2-minute mark means that only the ball carrier can advance it. No other player can. The give inside to William Miller. Down close to a first down. He may have gotten it. First down, Pittsburgh.
The clock will stop as the chains will move forward on the first down. Pittsburgh Maulers have three timeouts remaining. Clock's ticking down. 1:15, 1:14, 13.
Jim Byrne comes in. Frank Mattias comes in for New Jersey. Lockett and Woodland go out. Man-to-man defense for the Generals. CARANO. There's a blitz, backside, throws a fade pattern in the corner, incomplete. It was intended for Jackie Flowers. He had a step on Kerry Justin.
He just had him to the outside. Kerry Justin, a veteran of the National Football League from Seattle, was with him man for man. Jackie Flowers, drafted originally by the Dallas Cowboys. He sees the blitz, gets to the outside. Justin makes the contact. The ball is just thrown too far over his shoulder. He can't get to it, way out of bounds, but it's incomplete. The clock stops, 57 seconds. It gives the offense time to regroup.
There's your time. CARANO, long count. Looks across the middle, throws, it's complete. That's his tight end, Mark Rao. Inside the 5 to the 3. They want a timeout, and they get it.
48 seconds left on the clock, and it's the Pittsburgh Maulers who are trailing by 4 points, 14-10. Glenn CARANO is finding his receivers for the first time. He finds his tight end, Mark Rao, in the center of the field. He makes a good catch, drags John Preston, number 25, down to about the 3-yard line. They are now 3 yards away from the end zone. A touchdown will put them ahead by 3 and could possibly give them a victory. It's 3rd down, 3 yards to go. They can pick up a first down if they get to the 1. One timeout remaining for the Pittsburgh Maulers. 2 timeouts for the Pittsburgh Maulers remaining.
3rd down and 3. CARANO in trouble. He'll be thrown down. Willie Harper, the linebacker, came on the blitz. Big play for the Generals. So that'll bring up a 4th down. And the clock is down to 45 seconds.
Tim, I am totally surprised. Harper comes in, unblocked from the linebacker position on the blitz. I am surprised that they tried to run the play like that. If it was going to be a rollout, a run-pass option for the quarterback, he was running to the strength of the defense instead of away from it. But there was a flag on the play, and the officials are standing up a conference, and it seems to have been against against New Jersey. Another break for the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Offside. Number 56, defense.
Willie Harper.
Still 3rd down.
Willie Harper, the man that got credit for the sack, has it taken away. He lined up offside. Half the distance to the goal line. It's still 3rd down, the half yard for a first, and 45 seconds on the clock.
Pittsburgh has won only once in this stadium, 3 Rivers. Brian Sipe, the quarterback for the Generals, has never won here. The pitch back. Amos Lawrence. Nothing there. The play made by number 24, Terry Daniels, and Jim LeClaire.
Tim, there's only one thing that happens more often than the actual action on the football field, and that's second guessing. Now, I'm going to second guess right here. I'm going to just give a little hindsight. That I thought was a terrible play selection. It's a wet field. They're trying to string out a running play. You know, he can't make the quick cuts upfield. half yard, a yard to go for the first down. I think they should have just went up the middle. They have 2 plays because it was third down to get 1 yard. It's a safer play. They might have been able to break it for the touchdown. Instead, they're now looking at 4th down, 4 yards to go for 1st and 5 for a touchdown.
That play was made by Gregory Johnson, the safety. He strung it out, defeated the blocker, kept the blocker up, kept fighting him off, stringing it out until pursuit could come, and it did. Kerry Daniels and Jim LeClaire came up the field and took Lawrence down. So you're right, with 36 seconds left now, it's down to 1 play for Pittsburgh. CARANO knows the pressure is on. It was a bad call. You're right, we're second guessing, and it's easy for us to do that. But now it's down to 1 play, 1 roll of the dice for the Maulers.
Walt Michaels, I'm sure, has his defense expecting the pass play. And not. They could go to the running play, the draws, or a screen. Screen would be a very safe pass play, but they're backed up. They don't have that much field to cover.
Pittsburgh can get a first without scoring. It is 4th and 5. Kimichik, Rao, Anderson are your receivers. This is CARANO. With time, throws back, has a man open, knocked away. Greg Anderson was open. Gregory Johnson made a spectacular play and knocked the football away. And New Jersey will take its record to 7-2.
Greg Anderson. He had about a half yard to a yard on number 27. Gregory Johnson. CARANO rolling to his right, then stopping to throw back to his left. Gets the ball in the air. Anderson has a chance, but he's got to go up in the air and get it. There you see he has the room. There's a little bit of pushing. Could have been called.
It could have been called.
There. Official was not behind him, was not in position to make that call. Well, yes, there is an official back there, but I guess he just doesn't see it. They both go up for the ball. Johnson gets a hand in there, knocks away incidental contact. No pass interference. And with 30 seconds on the clock, New Jersey has the ball. They'll just fall on it. Let the clock run out.
It could have been called, but I think it was a good no call. He was going for the football. He has just as much right to it as the offensive player, and he got the hand on it first.
That's why we call it incidental contact.
The executive producer of ABC Sports is Rune Arledge. Coverage of today's game was produced by Peter Engelhart, directed by Bob Lanning. The technical director is Gary Larkins. The AD is Jimmy Roberts. The technical manager, James Wilkie. Unit manager, Bob Zinke. Assistant to the producer, Charlie Weissman. Our statistician up here in the booth does such a fine job as George Hill. Spotter is Kelly Hayes, and our booth manager is Jeff Benke.
We saw that shot of Brian Sipe back in the huddle, looking over his team and assessing the position. And what's he thinking, Tim? He goes, after all these years, I finally got a win in Three Rivers Stadium.
It had to play on his mind coming in here. 12 years in the National Football League. He never won in Pittsburgh. Last time he was here, he threw 6 interceptions. A veteran team, the New Jersey Generals, and although they played poorly, they maintain their composure, and the Generals come away with a win. Well, that should just about do it. We've got 18 seconds left. Sipe will just watch the final seconds tick away.
We have to say it was an extremely fine performance by Herschel Walker, and in the second half, it was the running of Herschel Walker and also his pass receiving that brought this offensive team back to life. No time on the clock. It's a New Jersey win on the shoulders of Herschel Walker.
Pittsburgh so close and yet so far. 2 wins on the year, a scrappy ball club. But it's the Generals that walk away with a 14-10 win. The New Jersey Generals have come from behind to beat the Pittsburgh Maulers 14-10, an expansion ball club. Herschel Walker had a big afternoon, but it was Brian Sipe, the veteran, that engineered the drive. Right now, let's go downstairs to Brian Sipe, who's with Mike Adamle.
Oh, shit. Okay, we're on. Brian, these aren't exactly the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you guys aren't exactly the Cardiac Kids, but it has to feel pretty good to be able to come up with a victory after so many years here in Three Rivers Stadium.
Well, you're darn right it feels good. I'll tell you what, maybe we aren't those 2 teams, but we're a pretty good football team, and today was very important for us. It was important collectively because it's the first time we've come from behind and took a game away from somebody, and I'm very happy about it. As far as Three Rivers is concerned, I'm glad to have that business behind me.
Just that thanks goodbye. Last week, an emotionally flat performance against the Arizona Wranglers. Yeah. No emotion at all. In the second half today, you guys were brilliant as far as in that department.
Well, I'll tell you what, the emotion was there all game long. It was just those turnovers in the first half. They really, we stopped ourselves. We had the momentum. We were hitting people, but we were just self-destructing. And finally, at the end, when we had to have it, we made it happen.
All year long, the boo birds and critics have been on Herschel Walker's back. But today, I think, under the weather conditions, he was terrific. He ran hard. He caught an amazing ball under
No question. No question. Herschel's one of those guys, you know that you can keep him down for just a little while, and pretty soon he's going to explode. Besides that, he's a fierce competitor. He's a great guy to be around, and I like that competitiveness that rubs off on everybody else.
Halfway point of the season are the Generals Championship, Timber?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're coming along. Last week set us back a few steps, but this is taking us a long way to being the kind of team we want to be.
Okay, Brian, so good to see you again. Lots of luck. See you down the road. Okay. Let's go back upstairs to Tim Brantlin's Swan.
Thanks, Mike. Herschel Walker, 152 yards on the day. The final score, New Jersey 14, Pittsburgh 10.